happy Wednesday and happy first day of school. I've been here the last 2 days. We had bunches of teacher meetings and just getting the classroom and everything all set up and prepared for students to arrive today. And today is finally the day. So the kids will be coming in still about half an hour to get everything ready and make sure they're good to go. But I wanted to take you along for just a couple little updates to the classroom since the last time I have been in here. So let me show you those. I think last time I showed you, but we got my little bird feeder. We have had birds nonstop over by the window. Here I've got all my plans prepped. I have this cute little butterfly activity that I'll share after school today. My plan for this video is to kind of walk through the first 2 days of school and just some of the activities we did this week. I brought some of my plants in. I have my adorable little hanging plant guy. So cute. And then let's see over here. These books right here, these are going to be things that we will get probably not until next week. We'll get our catch-up folders today or tomorrow. And this is just where they can store work that they are not done with, that they need to catch up on. And so they each have little coloring pages with their names over there on their desk. And so they probably won't finish it this morning, nor do they need to. So they can store it in there if they want to pull it out later. And then their big first math notebook, they'll get introduced to, they'll get, put their name on it, maybe practice a little page and do that sometime next week. And then I did add a little coffee pot to my classroom this year. This is to help me with Starbucks, that's the hope, because last year I went to Starbucks like every day. So I have tea and coffee, especially for the afternoon as needed right here. And last thing I changed is over here, my door is now my little mirror station. So I wanted to do a little affirmation mirror last year, but instead in this space, I did a bunch of family photos, but not all my students brought in family photos, and also they didn't really use the space as much as I would have liked. And then also with affirmations, of course, I want to make sure that my first graders can actually read it. So I did a little picture with each one. I am kind, I am strong, I am smart, I am loved, I am honest, I am amazing, and then a little I'm glad you're here sign. All right, those are just a few little additions to the classroom this year. We're gonna take it nice and slow. We're gonna go over the procedures, make our classroom rules today, and just kind of walk students through the day so they can see what first grade is all about. I will plan to check in with you at the end of today, and then I'll also check in with you tomorrow morning and the end of tomorrow too, so I can tell you kind of what we did the first day, what went well, what did not go well. I do have a fun, I showed you the little butterfly project that I wanna do over there. They're like little stained glass butterflies, which in theory should be really, really cute, but might end up being a lot of work. So we'll see how all of that goes. I'll see you a little bit later. Hello, everybody. Checking in after the first day of school. My hair is up because it is a very warm day. It says it's 91 degrees outside, no AC, and my classroom feels very, very muggy. But we made it through the first day of school, and it was such a great day. Every year is always different. It's funny to like meet your new class and see all the different personalities, how they work, all this fun stuff. But we did a bunch of cute little activities. We kind of took it slow, of course, because it's the first day back. We had a lot of kids that were still missing summer, self included. But it was a great day. Tomorrow morning when I pop in, I'll kind of show you some of the activities we did. I did this adorable little butterfly activity that is already hanging on the wall or hanging on the windows, which looks really cute. And then, yeah, I'll kind of go over tomorrow what we did, but I did just want to pop in and say hello. Today is not only the first day of school, but it's also Parker's birthday. So I'm actually leaving here right now and going to get us a special birthday dinner, or get him a special birthday dinner. But I, of course, get some of it too. So that's always nice. And we're all going to go eat together. And I can't wait to hear from my boys and see how their first day went. So I'll take you along as we go get that. And then, like I said, I'll be back in the morning to kind of go over how the first day fully went, some of the activities we did, and what I plan to do tomorrow. I don't know if I mentioned this. I probably have, so I apologize if I'm repeating myself, but we actually only have 2 days of school for this first week. It was today, which is Wednesday, and then tomorrow, Thursday, which is a nice little intro, like a nice ease back into school. So we have 2 days, a long weekend, actually an extra long weekend because we have Tuesday off since it is primary voting and our school is used as a voting site. So we'll have a 2 days on, 5-day weekend, and then a 3-day week. So it is a very slow transition back to school. So we're trying to make it and keep it nice and slow first and get all the procedures and all that done and then start hitting up some academics in a little. But until we get there, I will share what we're up to. So see you in a bit. Good morning. Happy Thursday. It is the second day of school. I told you after yesterday I would pop in and let you know kind of what we were up to yesterday. It feels like a whole lot of nothing, even though our day was so busy I didn't even get through everything. Which is just the way the first day goes. Everything takes so much longer to show them, where they come in, where they put their materials, what we do in the morning, what our morning meeting looks like. So let me pull up the slides and I can kind of give you a little walkthrough of how the day went. When the kids came in, they had Play-Doh and a little coloring sheet with their name on it. And their job right away was to just come in through the door with their backpacks and find their seats. Normally they drop everything off outside in those bins. Ours are on this side of the wall, but those bins over there. But I wanted them to come in and find their number, which is on their name tag. So they just did this first, and then I called students, like 2 students at a time, to go out into the hallway and show them how to drop off all their stuff. We only had one lunch choice yesterday, which was a hot dog. And then after all the students were done putting all their stuff away and they were coloring, I had them clean up and come make a circle here on the rug for our morning meeting. And my morning meeting, if you've watched any of my videos, is always exactly the same. We have the same 4 steps, so I taught them how to do that. We had our little morning message, and then we played a little stand-up, sit-down game where students would just stand up if whatever I say applied to them. So if I said, do you have any siblings? You would stand up. Or did you go to the beach this summer? Stand up. And we would kind of talk about each one. Then for Heggerty, we don't start Heggerty or like really any academics for a couple weeks, but I do just tell them next is Heggerty. And as we go through, I kind of move the magnet down so they understand each section of the day. And I tell them how they will sit in Heggerty. So instead of sitting in a circle, they will grab their own little square and face my blue chair. So I teach them that. And then I explain for phonics, we'll head back to our seats. And instead of phonics, we read We Don't Eat Our Classmates, and we came up with our class rules. So here is what we came up with together. I'm going to actually rewrite this morning, and then I'm going to have a little space down here for us to sign it as our contract. So this morning we'll go through each one again. We'll talk about why it's important, and then we will sign it and post it right over there on the wall. Then we walked through how to use our supplies. This is just a little slideshow. Students inside their desks have a little supply kit already, but it only had pencils and crayons yesterday. After we went through this little slideshow, we added glue, scissors, an eraser, I think something else too. But we kind of went through how we use each one, and then they just had a blank piece of paper, so they were able to go ahead and do that. Then we had students do their first assignment for the year. I put a little timer on and they drew a picture of themselves and they wrote their name to the best of their ability. And while they did that, I took everybody's picture with this little first day of first grade sign like this. So I took all their little pictures. I actually, not only do I post them on Seesaw so parents can see, but I also cut out their pictures and I put a little magnet on them. And I have them along the doorway when you walk in. So they'll see that next week. After this, we went over our playground expectations. This is a link. We actually have school-wide expectations that we went through. And then we went out for snack and recess. Then we came in, showed them how to do calendar. So everybody comes to the rug. This is my digital calendar that we walk through. I can actually link this down below. all the different slides for the digital calendar. And then when we came back, it is math time. So for math, what I like to do on the first couple days, we're gonna do this again today, is just put out a few different math tools. We talk about how we use them, how we don't use them, and then they just kind of rotated through 4 little groups for 4 minutes each, just to get to explore them. This is something we didn't have time for yesterday that we'll definitely try today, and these are the silent collaborative puzzles. I love these. I have them over here, already cut out from last year. But basically you put students in a group of about 3 or 4, and they have to put one hand behind their back, and they have to be really, really quiet. And then they have to kind of put the puzzle pieces together. And when they're done, they have to put their hands up. So this will be a good listening and teamwork activity that we'll do today. Then we went through all about Mrs. Jones. I shared just a little bit about me, and then students started their own little all about me banner for themselves. So we did everything yesterday except the I can't wait to learn, which we will do today. And then we'll finish coloring in that banner and we'll hang it up in our class. Then let's see, after this, we had lunch and recess and we did our little butterfly activity. So we read butterflies on the first day of school right here. And then we made these adorable butterflies over here. They're hanging up. This one I have to retape, but it was a really cute activity, definitely prep heavy. And I prepped a lot of it before the activity actually happened. So I actually made a little Instagram reel about it. So if you follow me over on Instagram, you can see exactly how we did these. But I just thought they were such a cute little activity and a way to brighten up our windows here. So I loved that. Then we had a library, and we actually did, because we did this before and after library. So the first part where students had their wax paper and they just glued and filled in all the paper mache squares, we did that before specials. And then after library, we came back and glued the black part on and we cut it out. And then I went ahead and poked the hole and added string after school. Then we went over how everybody is going home. This is very important on the first day, of course. So students just found their name and we dragged it over to where they go, so they understood how they get home. If they're a bus, we asked what bus so they know the number. And then we talked about our first day feelings. I asked everybody to describe their first day in about 1 or 2 words. Most were very positive, but others recognized that they were still missing summer a little bit. And then I taught them how to pack up. So that was pretty much everything we did yesterday. Today we're going to be walking through those same routines, talking a lot about, how we walk in the hallway, how we come to the carpet and all that fun stuff. And then just a few other activities. Instead of like writing our name and doing the all about me banner, we'll be doing this activity. We're going to read a letter from your teacher. Oh, I got to make sure I have it. Yeah. A letter from your teacher on the first day of school. And then we have some helpful and non-helpful activities. We'll do a little sort all together, and then they'll go and do that same sort independently. So we'll do it together with the pocket chart up here on the rug, and then we will do it at our seat. So they'll practice a little cutting and gluing and finishing that activity. And then another activity we'll do today is talking about, for our bulletin board, let me grab it, something we want to do this year, or this year I hope to, kind of talking about like a little goal for the year. So this is the little sheet that they will complete. It says this year I hope to. So they'll trace it and then they'll write, to the best of their ability, they'll write down something they hope to do this year and draw a picture of it. It goes with, let me grab the book. This book should actually be up on my display. It goes with this book right here. This book is cute. It just gives a fun little idea. This year I'll win the science fair. This year I hope I won't be a vegetable in our school play. We'll take a field trip. Maybe if the fire truck comes, I'll get to squirt the hose. This year I'll kick the ball right into the goal. Just a bunch of little ideas for students to think about, and then they can write whatever they would like for what they hope to do this year. And it'll be our first bulletin board of the year to go out in the hallway. And then later in the afternoon, I believe we'll have time to read You Are Finally Here. We'll do this probably at the end of the day. And that kind of goes over with my little I'm glad you're here mirror over here. So I'll ask them if they've seen this guy before and they can see him around the room. I like to have little characters around the room. I have him here, and then I have my elephant and piggy. Oh, but you can't see right now because the light is there. But I have my elephant and piggy over here as well, looking cute on our back wall. Nope, still can't tell, but you've seen this before. All right, I'm going to make a couple copies and rewrite the class rules so we're ready to sign them today. And then I will check in with you after school and see how everything went as we finish our first week, 2 days of school. everybody. Week 1 is done. I got Curious George in the background. That's what we play while we're waiting for them to call the buses. We signed all of our class rules and we had a great day. Things went a little bit smoother today just because some of the kids already know, the procedures and what to do in the morning, at least know a little bit. There were less reminders. And then it'll be interesting having 5 days off to see how many more reminders they need next week as we come in. But overall, a great first week. Got our cute little butterflies back here. I think I did everything we mentioned. We read a letter from your teacher. We talked about helpful and not helpful behaviors. We did our class bracelets. I don't think I mentioned that one, but here's a little picture of what they look like. We just did little class bracelets after we read. Our class is a family, and I found that was a freebie that I found online there, and I just have little beads, so they got to put those 5 color beads, that's like it says right here, for all the different things, and then if they wanted to, they could add some more beads to kind of make it their own, and then I just tied it on their wrist, and they got to take those home. The only thing we kind of switched up is at the end of the day, I put in a few slides to talk about bucket dipping and bucket filling. Bucket Filler is a book that's been around for well over a decade. So we read that book and then we went ahead and gave some examples of things we can do and words we can say that fill someone's bucket. And then we gave some examples of not things that bucket dip or things that, take away from somebody's bucket. We've had a lot of like, oh, do I really have to do that? Or I don't want to do this activity, or I don't like that. And a lot of that is like coming off of summer, right? But we're like, oh, well, we're in first grade now. These are the activities that we have to do, and just getting used to that responsibility and perseverance through it. So like I said, quick week, but it has been a fun one, and we'll be back in 5 more days for week number 2. Before I head out, I'm just writing a few notes already of things I want to remember for next week. And just a couple of routines. Next week, I'm going to go over the class jobs. Because we only had 2 days this week, we went over some basic routines. And then next week, we have some more like specific routines and everything we're going to go over. So class jobs, we're going to go over rug spots. And I also need to go over, students will next week get their whiteboards that we use during foundations time. So just writing it down here. Whiteboards, we'll talk about what those expectations look like, how we use the erasers, how we use the markers, how we erase everything and follow the directions and all that. We'll also get our magnet boards. So we'll do the procedures around the letter magnet boards that come with foundations and how that works, how we store everything, practice building a few words. And then we will also do our Haggerty hedgehog. Let me go get the hedgehog, I'll show you. I learned this from a colleague of mine does this, and I was like, I want to add this for next year. Let me go grab it. Our cute little Haggerty hedgehog. All we do for this is Haggerty, if you're aware of it, is a 10-minute long phonemic awareness curriculum. So they're just, listening to my direction, and then they have to say it. So I'm like, give me a word that rhymes with sat, and they'll raise their hands. Or I'll say, what's the first sound you hear in the word push? So they have to kind of listen to what I'm saying and pay attention. And so I explained to them that the Haggerty hedgehog picks somebody every single day. And then if they're picked that day, then the next day they get to sit on their lap. And the Haggerty hedgehog picks somebody who tries their best. They don't always have to have all the answers, but they're sitting up nice and tall, they're participating, and they're trying their best. So this cute little guy is going to be introduced and used next week. I don't think we're actually starting Haggerty yet, but I'll go over the routine of how we use it, and I'll give some practice examples for those 3 days. So definitely want to do that. And then kind of a bummer, but many of you know if you watched my videos last year that I am piloting, because we went through the whole curriculum review and committee. I was on that, and then we picked 2 programs to pilot. We picked EL education and we picked HMH into reading. So we will actually start our pilot next week, which is only day 3 of school. And normally, we wouldn't jump into instruction that quickly. We'd probably start on week 3. But in order to be able to pilot both, we have to start right away. So we'll be doing 8 weeks of the first EL education unit. We're starting that one first. Just writing that down because I need to look into all of that. EL education, and then once we're done with that, we have like 2 days in between to get trained and try piloting the into reading. So that means over this long weekend, I need to look into the EL education lesson plans and see what I have to do. So just writing a nice little note of everything I need to keep up with. Other small little things, I have to adjust my schedule for 5 minutes here and there. But yeah, so that is how our week went. If you have any questions, comments, things you want to know about, please let me know down in the comments below. Sometimes I do forget to link things. I do try to watch this video back and I put everything in the bottom there so you can grab it in the description. But if I forget, please just drop me a comment and I will try to get it to you. As always, I hope you enjoyed this video, first one of the year. I'll definitely see you next week with more ideas and activities for that second week of school. And I'll kind of let you know what I think about EL education after, only 3 days. So we'll see, but we'll see how it all goes. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up so I know. Make sure you are subscribed to my channel and click that bell. That way you're notified of every new video. See you in the next one. Bye.